You guys see that you have friends that are not here yet? Go ahead and start sending those text messages and saying, I know Ms. Wild was late, but she is here and ready to rock and roll. Let's get going. I want you to specifically use that phrase. Just kidding. See, the one con about the mute button is whenever I say something dorky like that, I don't hear the groans. There are my students. Woo! Okay, I want to go ahead and set the timer for 5 minutes. You're gonna have 5 minutes to complete the do now. Be prepared for me to cold call you with the do now. 5 minutes is on the clock, starting now.
Hey, Miss Wild.
Hello, Madison. Are you so excited to see me today?
Yes, can't wait.
Can't tell if that was serious or sarcastic. Okay, we have.
I'm not being sarcastic.
That's what I thought. Okay, we have 4 minutes left on the do now. Everybody has 4 minutes left on the do now. Text your friends who are not here and say, get on Zoom. Ms. Wild is here and ready to go. Again, text your friends. We're missing Eddie, Erica, Anthony, Adarius, Tisa, Janaya.
You're missing me?
Oh, sorry. Never mind. We're not missing Erica. We got her. Let me fix that. We are missing Eddie, Anthony, Adarius, Tisa, Janaya, Montana, Lauren. Text your friends. Tell them to come join Zoom. You have 2.5 minutes left on the do now. Remember, because there are only 3 Zooms this week, each Zoom is worth a lot more points. Two more minutes left. 15 seconds, go ahead and finish up. Be prepped to cold call. What you guys don't realize is that I drop as much stuff here as I do in class, but because my video is so small, you usually don't see me. Great. Let me go ahead and share my screen. Share screen. Okay. What kind of thesis did we come up with? Ariana.
I said while the 14th and 15th Amendment both significantly impacted American society, it wasn't as successful as it would have seemed because it failed to protect the rights of Black citizens.
Mm-hmm. Can you say that for me one more time after significantly changed? Or Ariana, can you just copy and paste it into the chat? That's what we're gonna do. So when I cold call you for stuff like that, you're gonna copy and paste from your document into the chat. That makes sense. Only been doing this for—
Miss Wild,
Yes, Adriana.
can I read my thesis?
Absolutely.
I said the ratification of the 14th and 15th Amendments did not foster political and social change in the United States, since there were other laws and court cases that increased the discriminations these amendments tried to take away.
Very good. I like that. So the
Thank
thing
you.
Adriana did that I want to stamp is she included this idea of political and social change. Here's a tip when we go into the DBQ on Friday. If you're reading a prompt and it says something like fostered political and social change, right here, what I am italicizing, that is an easy way to establish your line of reasoning, or an easy way to organize your essay. If you read this and you see that they're giving you like 2 categories to consider, boom, one political change is one category or body paragraph, and boom, the other one is going to be social change. So whenever you're reading these prompts, make sure that like you're checking to see if it's given you an organization already in the prompt. Great. Okay. Great, and I'm not gonna worry about typing this because we do not have the time. Isis, can you read one of your topic sentences?
It doesn't matter which one.
Nope.
I said, however, despite these benefits, there were still ways to prevent African Americans from having civil rights.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. Can Nyasia, can you read one of your topic sentences, please?
However, there was no social change because Southerners continued to perceive Black people as inferior and instilled fear within the community.
Great. Let me hear one more topic sentence from Cedric.
Okay, let me see. I said the ratification of these amendments brought much upheaval in the South as white supremacist groups were being created, such as the KKK.
Mm-hmm. Great. Isis, did you still want to share your thesis with everybody? You're on mute.
No.
Okay. Great. So we are going to do oral drill a little differently today because I was running late because of care package delivery. So we are running out of time. So the way that I'm going to do oral drill is I have my pre-selected list of students to do an oral drill term. When you hear, not everybody's name is going to be called. When you hear your name, I want you to chat your definition. Chat your definition into the chat to everybody. And I will let you know if it's incorrect or not. But that's gonna be the fastest way. So everybody listen for if your name is called and what term you are given. And everybody that does not get called, make sure you are watching the chat and providing feedback in case you want to build on somebody's definition or add your own insight. Okay, so listen for your name and the term that you are typing into the chat. Any questions? Beautiful. Okay, Kezia, I want the definition of Reconstruction or Reconstruction era. Eddie, I want the definition of Declaration of Independence. Nazaya, I want the definition of the Progressive era. Tisa, I want the definition of Black codes. Jade, can you get me the definition of the Louisiana Purchase? Aaron, can I get the definition of isolationism? Dwayne, can I get Emancipation Proclamation? Serge, can I get Abraham Lincoln, please? Sergio, can I get Thomas Jefferson, please? And Malachi, can I get the 13th Amendment? Great, 2 minutes, get that into the chat. That if you do not respond to the chat, you will not get the cold call points. Everybody else, watch the chat to make sure you can build on everybody else's responses. Make sure you're chatting everybody and not just me. Okay. Thank you, Kezia and Eddie. I have yours. Jade, I have yours.
Miss Wild, what if I don't remember what they had?
Kezia, I can remind you, Kezia had Reconstruction and Eddie had Declaration of Independence. Thank you, Dwayne, Aaron. Okay, I'm just missing from Nazaya, Serge, and Sergio. One more minute. Again, everybody else can be interacting with your peers and you can build on other people's responses if you see something that you want to add to or snap to. Corroborate would be the technical term. Great job, Nazaya, for including some contextualization as to why the progressive era is so important. Merits to Nyesha to building on somebody's response. Great, we're gonna go ahead and get started with today's activity. We are going to, merits to Madison for also building on somebody's response, but we're gonna go and shift gears. I just need to write this down before I forget. Awesome, thank you guys for letting me be a little scatterbrained today. Great. So today we are going to be looking at our since statements and making sure we know what is necessary for our since statements going into the DBQ. So in your packet, you have a place to put these notes and the steps that I use for getting the analysis and reasoning point. So as a reminder, in this DBQ, you will be getting 2 points for 2 since statements. So if you are going to get a point per since statement, how many since statements do you think would be a good idea to include in your essay? I'll take a hand. Naziah.
At least 2.
At least 2. And Kezia, did you want to build on that?
No, I was going to say the same thing.
Okay. So obviously at least 2. Malachi.
I would have said 3 just in case one's wrong.
Beautiful. So yeah, obviously if you are rushed for time, don't worry about squeezing out a 3rd since statement. But if you have the time as you're writing, try to get 3 since statements in there in case the reader is like, I don't know, this seems pretty shallow to one of them. And then they're like, oh, they wrote another since statement. Okay, we can give them the point now. So try to go for 3 since statements. I would put that in your notes. This is going to be a really important thing to do because this is going to be a fifth of your points is going to come from since statements. So you need to know how to do them. So as we have discussed, the main formula that we use for writing since statements in terms of our essays is something like since blank, it is or isn't surprising that blank. That is usually the formula that we follow. However, it's not if we just do that, there's not a guarantee that that's going to get us the point. Because when we look at the rubric, it says, how is somebody's POV or historical situation or audience or purpose relevant to the argument? If you just say since blank is or isn't blank, that doesn't really prove that you know what the argument is. So you should try to follow this with a sentence that explicitly explains how somebody's POV is relevant for your argument. And here is an example that does that very well. What do I have here? Ariana, can you read that for us, please?
Can you zoom it out just a little bit?
Do you need it bigger or smaller?
Smaller.
How's that?
Is this on the paper or no?
It's in your packet. It's on the bottom of the 2nd page.
Okay, I see it. Since Roosevelt was a progressive president, it makes sense that he would advocate that an increase in the federal government's power was needed and would support breaking up monopolies and trusts. This shows that there was political change because Americans elected presidents like Roosevelt to end corruption and big business.
Beautiful. So that is, so that 2nd sentence is what is going to lynch you getting. It's not the right use of the word lynch. Not the right context. It's a word that never mind. That is going to make sure that you get that point. So make sure that you have that 2nd sentence. So the steps that I follow for getting this analysis and reasoning point is annotate your document, for the 4 corners. Remember that POV / historical context are the ones that we've been focusing on. So if you think that the audience is really important, so like obviously if a labor rights person is writing to Franklin Roosevelt, that audience does matter. We just haven't really talked about audience in a while because we've wanted to really push our analysis of POV and historical context. So annotate your 4 documents. Those are the 2 that we've had the most practice with. For your second step, you're going to use our formula. Since blank, it is / isn't surprising that blank. Apparently I can't spell surprising right. And finally, the last step is add 1 additional sentence supporting your argument. This shows that. So these are the 3 steps that we should be following for writing since statements. So on the next page, you are going to do some practice for since statements. So here we have a practice thesis of, although the progressive movement successfully fostered political change in the United States by exposing government and business corruption, it ultimately failed to end discrimination faced by African Americans, immigrants, and women. The notes that we have from the whatever document that they're using is that the POV is from a social reformer who's involved with the Hull House and is a feminist. Who wants to take a guess as to who the writer of this is? Just look in the evidence statement.
Mary Wollstonecraft.
Nope, not Mary Wollstonecraft.
Abby something, right?
Abigail Adams.
Jane Addams.
Jane Addams.
Okay, I heard several voices. I don't know who said it, but yes, Jane Addams. It's also like right here under document 1 and evidence statement. So we know that this is coming from Jane Addams. We also know that this is about other progressive movements. And something that they also have is Jane Addams notes in document 1 that political machines threaten the very fabric of democracy by controlling local politics and performing favors in exchange for votes. You are going to write a since statement from her perspective, and then you are going to go down and write another since statement coming from the NAACP. So use these sourcing notes to practice writing your since statement. We are going to do practice round 1 for 5 minutes. 5 minutes. And then I am going to take volunteers, and then we will move on to practice 2. So 5 minutes is on the clock. Get started with our since statements now.
Miss Wall, can you go up to the notes?
Yes, I can.
To the
Didn't we write this DBQ?
Yes, you did. So it should be really easy for you. If you guys get a progressive DBQ on Friday, you guys are going to be set up real well.
Friday.
Yeah, Friday.
Wait, what?
The AP exam.
That's this Friday? I thought it was next Friday.
No. It's in 3 days.
Oh my God.
I'm dying inside. Okay, you guys have 3.5 minutes left to write your since statements. 2 more minutes. One more minute to finish up. Great, 5 minutes is up. If you can please, if you would like to, copy and paste your sense statement into the chat, and I will pull out an exemplar and show, and we'll talk through why. So take 30 seconds if you would like to copy and paste it into the chat, and I will share it. So that's easier than me trying to type it while you say it out loud. Great. 15 more seconds. Okay, so I am going to take Nazia's for the first document, and then I want to build on it. Okay, so what Nazia has is, since Jane Addams was a woman's activist and a progressive, she was reinforcing how the political machines were corrupting the government and breaking the democracy and its rule. This is a good sense statement, but what I want to do is add our "this shows that" sentence to make sure we are getting that point. So I will take a hand. What would be a good "this shows that" way to build onto Nazia's sense statement?
This is supposed to connect back to the thesis, right?
Yes.
So you could say this shows that many progressives exposed political problems, but few did anything to make social changes.
Okay, the only thing I'm gonna change about that, Erica, like I I like the first part. The only reason why I want to cut off the second half is that Jane Addams did do a lot, especially for immigrants. So saying that she didn't do anything is like not historically defensible. But and by historically defensible, I mean like history, like you could use historical evidence to argue against that. But this does work with this shows that progressive showcased political like we'll say shortcomings or something like that. Great. Let me see, something's in the chat. Great, and I'm going to use Ariana's for the second document. Let me just copy and paste it. Really sorry, guys. I'm trying not to like get distracted by my cat's losing her. Okay, so let me fix this.
You could take the etc. part out.
There we go. And Ariana, can you read your statement out for us, please?
Alrighty. Since this is from the point of view of the NAACP, it makes sense why advocates will attempt to abolish segregation and discrimination in housing, jobs, education in order to ensure constitutional rights. This shows that the goal was to eliminate race-based discrimination.
Great. And this works with the thesis. So like the only thing that I would add to Ariana's is that this thesis is arguing that progressive era failed to end discrimination by African Americans. So something that I would do, Ariana, to push this is say something along the lines that like this was the goal, but ultimately it was not successful. Yes, Madison.
Oh, I was gonna say something also that you could say how it failed. Like, I wrote about Woodrow Wilson, how they attempted to, like, they didn't like his policies, but in the end, like, what do I say? He had more power in his policies than it helped African Americans.
So what Madison's doing well there is she's pulling out a specific historical fact where it's like, this is the NAACP, like going off of Ariana's statement, this was the NAACP's goal. However, because of this person, it was not successful. Great. So what we're going to do is take the last 6 minutes for you to write 2 more sense statements and complete the exit ticket, where you're just going to do a really quick reflection. I want you to identify which corners are the easiest for you to write sense statements with and which ones aren't. This is your personal, like, this is the corner I'm going to focus on because I have an easier time with it, because I want us to start really honing in what specific strategies we're going to be using on Friday. So take the last 6 minutes of class to finish your sense statements and your exit ticket. You can message me privately whenever you're done, and I will let you know if you can go. If you are one of the students that I'm delivering a care package to, if you can just hang on for just like a minute past 10:50, I want to tell you the order of which I'm delivering, so that way you guys have a better idea of what time I'm going to be at your place. Okay, go ahead and get started on the last practice and your exit ticket. And a reminder, if you finish early, please message me before you leave.